Okay, and we're back. Hello, everyone. I am Woman, the conversation. Let's talk. Okay, I am super excited about my guests for today. Um, they are some amazing women. I mean, woo! I am Woman, the conversation. Oh, perfect. You guys made it. Okay, I see it. I see it. Got you. All right, perfect. Okay, I think we have it.
Yay!
Okay.
We
Yay!
made it. Hold on,
You
let me see.
made it.
Did you
I
get it
said, wait a
right?
minute. I canceled it and I realized, I said, wait a minute, my page not private. Hold on.
Hold on, let me see. I can
Okay.
kind of see you, but I mean, get the blue again. It's like frozen.
Okay. Is that better? Okay, hold on. Hello, everyone. Hello. Give us just a second. We're trying to make sure we have everything together so that we can start with you guys at 7. We're trying to make sure. All right. Here we go. Add. And they should be coming in. I'm super excited about my guests, you guys. I have Sisters of Yoga with me tonight. Super excited. And we're waiting for them to join us. I mean, while we're waiting for them, you guys, let me tell you something. I did the challenge last week and I just, ooh, first of all, I didn't know yoga was that hard. So I am just super excited about getting some information from these ladies, just about what we can do, how we can do it. And what it says, I'm waiting for you guys. It says, I'm waiting for you guys to accept. Let me do it again. I'm going to add you. Okay. Sisters of Yoga. Add. It says, I'm just waiting for you guys. So we're going to have it in just a second. Connecting.
We're like, what's going on?
Look, I had my phone out. I was ready to text me, hey, what I need to do.
Right. It's like, what do I have to do?
Oh, perfect. Welcome. So I was introducing you guys while we were trying to get this going. So as everyone, can you guys see me well?
Yeah. Yes, we can see.
I can see both of your beautiful faces. You guys look like twins.
Yeah.
Y'all both got your braids. Y'all both got them slung to one side. Yeah.
And I like yours too, girl. You got
Yeah.
braids.
This is braid season. This is the quarantine style. Okay.
Right.
But you guys, I am super excited. This is I Am Woman, the conversation. Let's talk. We are talking to two amazing women that are before us. They are a trio. They're short one person today only because of the coronavirus.
Felicia, we love you.
only because of the virus. Other than that, she would be right there with them. But we have the Sisters of Yoga. You guys, let's clap it up for them. Let's clap it up. I am super excited to have them as my guests, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. You about to learn some about yourself, okay? Like I tell all my guests, make sure you have a pen and a notepad because, baby, when we say it, we might not remember, and you might want to make sure you write it down, okay? Because sometimes the conversations get so good and people say things and you don't remember, so you want to make sure that you can write it down. And also, we'll do a Q&A at the end, so if you guys have questions, please don't hesitate to click the question mark at the bottom. Add your questions in there and we'll check those out toward the end. So don't feel like we're ignoring you, but we want to make sure these ladies get to share what they need to share. Then we'll answer your questions at the end. So these beautiful ladies, please do me a favor and introduce yourselves and so people can know who you are and what it is that you do.
Well, hello, guys, everyone. I am Ty Simpson, hippie heathen in the social media world. I am a yoga and wellness instructor, also CEO and founder of Sisters of Yoga, also a wellness influencer. So I work with different brands like Adidas, Aloe, and all these different other ones, bringing yoga and wellness to that space. I'll let you introduce yourself.
Hello, I'm Jessica Basu. I am the business development manager for Sisters of Yoga. I've been with the organization for, I guess, about a year now.
Oh, we have almost 1 year
I
anniversary.
know, 1 year anniversary. In a past life, I was an electrical engineer, construction
Yeah.
coordinator. I've done many things, and now I am just really focused on business development and just promoting people to be entrepreneurs.
Right. And the most important thing of it all, you're both what? Moms.
Mothers.
Mothers.
Yes.
The hardest job in the nation is the top job. We don't make enough money, y'all. We don't.
Right.
You can't pay us enough.
Well, ladies, what we want to do is we want to kind of start off like babes in yoga, okay? Because like, you know, I'm new to yoga. There's not a lot that I know about what yoga is, what it does for the body. I mean, you hear it all, right? People make all the memes and you read all, you know, and you Google it, you know.
Yes.
But I would love to hear about, you know, what is yoga? Not just in general, but what is yoga to you all? And what is it that we should get from it when we decide to, I think the word to use is to practice, when we practice yoga, what is it that we should be striving to get from it?
Yes. So yoga, if you ask 10 yoga teachers, you'll probably get a different definition of what yoga is. So I'll tell you what it means to me and a general understanding of it. So the word yoga means to yoke. So it's literally meaning to bring mind, body, spirit into alignment, right? So wherever your mind is, wherever your spirit is and body needs to be in the same place, right? And that's very difficult on a day-to-day basis. Our mind is here, our bodies are somewhere else. We're not connected with ourselves. And so what yoga does, it connects you. It strengthens that connection that you have with yourself and also with the universe around you and your environment, the people around you, you know? So for me, when I started yoga, I didn't know any of that stuff. I literally saw
So you were me. She is me, you guys.
Yeah, right. So when I started yoga, I literally saw this cool shape. I didn't even know it was called yoga at the time. This cool shape that I wanted to try. And I was like, oh my God, this is amazing. I want to learn how to do this with my body. And so I started this 30-day challenge on Instagram that was taking me through all these different poses. And again, I didn't really know what I was doing. I was just really excited about putting my body into doing something different that I didn't do before. And so after the 30-day challenge, I remember feeling like, oh my God, my body feels amazing. I was sore, right? But it was also that, wow, I didn't know I could do this, you know? So for me, it was like, I just wanted to keep doing that more, to challenge myself. Well, as I started to do that more, I just started to be on my mat more. So with myself more, with my thoughts more. I had to challenge myself physically, my strength, my patience with myself, my balance, and all of these things started to reflect off of the mat. Just naturally, as I started to question myself, like when I would question myself before, I couldn't find the answers, right? So with yoga, it causes you to get quiet, find stillness, you know, that's a part of the meditation. And so I just started to hear more of myself talking, you know, hear more of myself speaking out, and the noise around me started to get more quiet, you know. So for me, it's helped me to be just a better person, a better mother for my children, you know, to teach them how to handle themselves when they're feeling anxious or, you know, stressed, or just how to speak to themselves and how to speak to others, you know. So it just really cultivates this awakening in you from all these different areas, mind, body, spirit, to align you. And it literally, it's a domino effect on your life. So then you start to worry about, or start to think about, how am I treating my body with the food that I'm putting into my body? You know, like you want to start really treating your body as a temple, because you realize this, I'm a god. Like this, like
say it again.
Yes,
Say it again.
God is dope. Is that what your shirt said?
Yes, it is. But I think that is so beautiful. And you said some really important things that stood out to me, especially right now, you know, with moms and anxiety and, you know, learning to love ourselves and be one with ourselves more, getting in tune with that, to lower our stress, dealing with our children and things like that. You know, what do you say to the person who's a beginner like myself that doesn't have a mat, you know, doesn't know what they're doing? Like, I'm literally, before you guys, I literally would probably just Google, like, okay, what does this look like? And try to make myself look like that, you know. So what do you say to the beginner, you know, who's starting it, you know, maybe like you, because they wanted to do something that they thought was unique for their body, or someone who's seeking peace or to lower anxiety, what do you say to that person?
So yeah, I would first question or ask them, why is there a reason for starting yoga? Literally, there are so many different reasons to start yoga. Some people start yoga because they want to find that center, find that balance, find that quiet, right? So you're going to practice a different type of yoga than someone who is trying to get physically fit using yoga. You know what I mean? So it's a different thing. Or if you want to focus on
It's different levels.
It's different, not only different levels, but different styles of yoga.
Okay.
So there's Kundalini yoga, there's hot yoga.
Say that again. What a meaning?
Kundalini yoga, then hot yoga, vinyasa yoga. There's so many different types of yoga. So I would first determine and ask yourself, like, what do you want to get out of this practice? Why are you wanting to practice yoga, right? And then once you figure that out, then you next decide what type of yoga that is that you want to try. Most people start with sun salutations because it's like the first form of teaching you foundation in yoga, like, you know, to get yourself set up in terms of how should I put my hands in downward dog? How should I hold what is my correct alignment for all of these more advanced poses?
So like a great foundation.
So yeah, so salutations is a great foundation to start with. And even if you don't have a mat, like, you don't need a mat to start yoga. All you need is your body, your breath, and maybe some water.
And I think that's a key part too, because I think so many times people say, well, I'll start when, you know, or I'll get into it when, you know, when they have all the pieces together. We do that with life in general. You know, we say, I'll start when. We have to have all the elements there before we're ready to do it, you know. So I think it's great that you're telling people all you need is your mind and your body.
That's it.
You know?
Someone said we needed a mic. Can you hear us a little bit better? I want to make sure that
I can hear you well, and I'm sitting far away from myself. But I can hear you well.
Okay, so yeah, I would suggest a mat. Like, you know, you can get a mat from their mats vary. You can get a mat from TJ Maxx for $7.99 or a $100 mat. Like, it really depends. I say get one that is very sturdy, just to prevent you from slipping, because it can be a health hazard if it's not holding you up properly. You know, when you go into these poses, that
have noticed that with my rug in my living room.
Absolutely. So yeah, we don't want to do the rug.
That's, I mean, all the pictures you saw, that's my rug I'm on. I'm
make
slipping,
sure your socks
okay?
are off, especially if you're
I'm
on the rug.
DMXing this thing, slipping, falling, I can't get up.
Yeah, don't do that.
Well,
yes.
I think one of the other things that is just so beautiful, I don't know, I mean, like I said, I am a babe in yoga. So for all the yoga experts who are watching, just like, oh, she's dumb, she doesn't know anything, I receive that I am ignorant.
Let me say this, Ebony.
You know,
from another yogi, she told me, she said, as soon as you decide to practice, you are a yogi.
Like, when you
as soon as you decide, this is what I want in my life.
This is what I want. Yeah.
No matter how long you're doing it, no matter if you're doing it every day, like, everybody's practice is their practice, and that's what I love about it the most. Like, I'm still a beginner. I think one of the reasons I decided to do it was because I was someone that was physically fit, and I was in the dance world, and you know this from personal experience, you know, so I danced forever, and I became a mom, and I kind of lost all of that. And so what's ironic about our relationship, we actually met because I'm on the school board, foundation board at the kids' school, and our kids go to the same school.
Yeah. Always
and one of the things, right.
Yes.
And so one of the things that we were looking for was someone that could help us bring on a yoga practice or program to the school.
Okay.
And so, you know.
Oh, for the children?
Yes, for the kids.
Oh, wow. That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Yes. So the school that they attend is a school that focuses on nature, performing arts, etc. So bringing that in was, and it's outdoors as well. So it's all these things that we kind of have lost along the way throughout the years.
Okay.
And so we wanted to bring this on for the kids. And so scrolling through Instagram, and you know, my husband is the one who is the more focused, physically fit, eating the right things. Like, he brings that into my life. So
Right.
he was like, you know what? I think one of these, she was like in the Explore for yoga, and he was like, I believe her kids go to the school. I've seen her like at the people. So you know,
nothing but divine connection.
right. I'm not shy, so I sent a message like, "Hey, do your kids go to blah 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 blah?" So we ended up connecting. We started working on the program, and then from there it blossomed.
Kind of blossomed into.
And so, right, that's how we became where we are now. And so, just letting you know, I'm someone that's a beginner. I'm learning. I love learning from Ty and Felicia. They make you feel welcome, and that's what I love about this community. Like, it doesn't matter your level or skill. They bring you in, and it's all love and it's all energy, and that's the great thing about it. And your practice is your practice. Take your time and just enjoy it. Enjoy exploring yourself too. That's a big part of it.
And I think that's such a beautiful thing, you know, enjoying exploring yourself. That language, you know, is so important when we talk about ourselves and when we talk about, I speak and I do different things, and my 5 pillars are mental, physical, emotional, financial, and spiritual development. Like, we have to have that foundation of things that can get us to where it is that we desire to be, not just physically in the world, but like in our minds. And within our bodies. And I think it's just such a big, especially you saying you guys met, they were trying to introduce this to kids. I could only imagine if I could get my kids to be still enough to do some yoga. You know what I'm saying? I mean, that right there, like, where I sign up for that. You know, like, to get my kids to be still, to do some yoga?
What? Yeah, just to give them a moment. And it doesn't even take a lot. You know, like I tell, not even just children, but with adults, you know, if you 15 minutes on your mat a day literally just helps you to get through the days. Like, it doesn't even matter if you're moving on the mat. You can just show up to the mat that day with wherever you are with yourself. You might be in child's pose, which I'll show you what that is if you like, but not doing.
I can Google it.
Just sitting there, you know, with yourself, just really reflecting on the day, reflecting on, checking in with yourself. How am I feeling right now? Like, you know, literally, because we don't realize how much we just don't do that. We don't check in with ourselves throughout the day.
This one will grab a random tree.
Literally.
Listen, and hey, but that's good that she can do that. I mean, do you know how many moms literally, and some even watching this, you know, how many moms are just struggling with finding just a moment for themselves? Like, when I go to the bathroom, there are little fingers under the door. You know, like, it's always, it's just always something. So making the time for yourself to kind of get on your mat, be one with yourself, I mean, that's so important. And you guys talk about how you met as far as, you know, your children and being at school. And I know that Sisters of Yoga, it's a business, you know, with you two working together. Can you talk a little bit just about how Sisters of Yoga was kind of formulated with y'all, and, you know, the whole concept people always talk about, you know, friendship and business. You know, it don't work. You know, they have clapping hands. It don't work. So can you talk a little bit about just how, you know, you've developed your friendship, but also been able to work together just in business?
Yes. Okay, I can start with that because I've actually, I've had a few different partnerships with friends, especially in the yoga space. And I've had a great experience. And I think it was for me anyway, with our organization and anything that I've done in the yoga and wellness space, leading from the heart has been really important to me, you know. And so whereas with most business models, it's business is business, this is what it is, you know, I am that way. Like, I'm very professional when it comes to checking off the list, but I'm also leading from heart and sisterhood. This is a business, but this is a sisterhood. And so we check in with each other. Like, if we're supposed to we have meetings every Monday. They come like every Monday for 3 hours. We're on the phone, like probably longer. But some days it's just not, you know, she's not up to it, or I'm not up to it, or Felicia's not there. You know, it's not like, girl, we had a meeting, you know. No, it's like, how are you feeling today? Are you up for this? Do you have space for this? You know, today.
Are you ready to talk? Right.
Right. But obviously, you know, you want to make sure that the people you're working with are just as committed to the goal as you are, just as committed to the mission as you are. And as long as I know that, I'm good. You know what I mean? And it's showing in our everyday, how we show up for our business, how we show up for each other. That's what's important to me. You know, and for me, I think like you say, she and I met. We didn't meet as friends.
That started.
That's right.
It was like business that even our first meeting, like, it was supposed to be a quick, we'll meet at the school and we'll talk.
Yeah.
We were like on the couch talking in the lounge area of the school forever. like we had known each other forever.
And then I went over to her house maybe like a couple days after that.
Yeah.
She was helping me go over, what were we putting together?
It
Oh,
was
the
for the-
first Sisters of Yoga
for the
last
Adidas.
year
Mhm.
for the Adidas event that we had. And I remember we were sitting there, and I literally just met her like maybe last week, a couple days or whatever. We sat there for 5 hours, like hashing out everything. And in that moment, I was like, I love this girl. I was like, I love her.
Yes.
Because she immediately like just got me, you know. And so with us, we had to work through where was our strengths. And I was even working through this before she came along, just, you know, learning to lead a team. It was new for me, you know. So I had to learn what was my strengths, and then what was my partner's strengths, and then what was, you know, my co-founder's strengths, and how did she come into play, and how did I come into play, and how we mix together. So I think that's the huge part of it, is just allowing people to shine where they shine, figuring out where it works. And, you know, that's kind of what's been for us. I'll let you talk. But.
So she's basically said it all, but I'll say from my end, because, you know, I come from corporate America,
Yeah.
like huge companies. And so I was on this journey of, I am tired of working for big companies. I want to work for small businesses. I want to work for people that really believe in what they're trying to do and really have a mission to do things in the community. So, you know, I've worked with other small businesses before, and, you know, some things have been good, some things not so much. But what I love about this space is, like she said, everyone is leading from the heart. I don't feel stressed. I feel like anytime we go to any events or we meet new people, everybody's just very welcoming. And it's just all love, and I can appreciate that. And what I love about Ty, she's so easy to work with. Like, even though she came over my house and we talked, we were there 5 hours. Like, she literally had everything together. And at the end of it, I leaned to my husband. I'm like, I don't know what she needs me for. She got everything together. Like,
You already had the loose road out.
I ain't telling her that.
But for me, it was so good to have her like put all
But
this crazy
like
stuff
putting it
into
together,
my
like when
mind.
she really opened the portfolio, and you know me, I'm like, I'm ready to run. I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
let's go.
Let's
Like,
go. Let's do this
I
now.
have worked for people that have $1 million companies and aren't as together as she is. And I'm like, girl, you are sitting on this gold mine. But I think it's because she is doing it because she loves it. Like, so I can't wait for some of the stuff that's coming out, like in the future.
Yes.
Some of the things that Sisters of Yoga, her and Felicia, that they want to do and get done, it's like, you know, y'all have no idea that you've
Don't
been
leak the
sitting
secret.
on this
Don't leak the
forever,
secret.
and we're waiting on it. Like, people are waiting. So, you know, just putting it all together, they're just really easy to work with. And, you know, we have the business vehicle going and we're moving, and it's just going to be a great thing. So the friendship has just naturally happened,
Yeah.
but it started as business. So,
Mhm. Well, I think one of the most important things is remembering, like, when we start a business, that it's okay for us to have business and be friends. You know, I think sometimes in general, you know, some people, you know, they hate the whole concept of loving a person but not liking them.
right.
I think that in business is so awesome when you're able to join together and still, you know, either develop friendship or maintain friendship. And it's so important, especially amongst females. You know, there's so many different stigmas as far as Black females and Black women.
Yeah.
When we work in the industry, we're always angry. We're always all of these different things. And it's so great just to see such beautiful melanin just smiling and enjoying each other and working, you know, being able to have a good time, because people think we always angry all the time and we have a hard time working together. And I just want people to know that that's not the truth.
No.
You know, that's not the truth, that we have a way of coming together. Women are nurturers by nature, you know, and
Yeah.
we love on each other intentionally. And sometimes, you know, people don't allow us to accept where we've been to create us into where we're going. And that can sometimes get in the way. But another live. Okay, so this is the thing. We all have kids, right? And somebody on this live is having a kid. Somebody on this live. And it ain't me, okay?
Look, we got this light. I'm big, pregnant, sweating. I'm like, do I really need to be putting it up there? So I do want to say this because Ty is sipping wine, and I don't want anybody to be confused. Mine is vitamin water.
Just vitamin water, and I have wine. We was like, let's get you a glass.
You want me drinking wine on live?
So
That
Fighting
pregnant lady
wars,
drinking wine.
just
Right.
for the world to know.
Right. Just for clarity is very important.
Clarity
Okay?
is important.
It's very important. So, Jessica, can you talk a little bit about, yoga and pregnancy? Because I saw, especially when you did your post, there's certain poses, obviously, that you can't do. So what does it look like for somebody? I know, like, even when you work out, the doctor's like, well, if you've been working out, you can keep working out, So when it comes to yoga and what you're doing with yoga, what does it look like for you being pregnant, doing yoga, and even being, quarantined? Because I know we were talking before, and you talked about how yoga is such a touchy-feely area. People like to hug and be connected to each other.
Right.
So what does that look like for you right now?
So I want to back up just a little bit. So this is pregnancy number, well, let's just say this is the last child. there will be a total of 5 children. But my other pregnancies were a lot harder than this. So when I was saying earlier that I was just really athletic and I was in the dance, before I was pregnant with my first child, I was a hip hop aerobics instructor, aside from being an engineer. So working out was just what I did. But when I was pregnant, I could barely move. I gained like up to 70 pounds with my first child. Yes, that was huge.
Wow.
I had a rare pregnancy disorder, so it was really hard in the beginning for me to keep food down. I was hospitalized. I was on all this medication. So that was one of the reasons why I blew up like I did. So that was, my oldest will be 13 in December on New Year's Eve. Ooh. So that was 13 years ago. So you let 13 years go by and you have not really moved your body the way you used to move your body. Your body reminds you, it's been 13 years and you ain't moved your body like this. You got steps, right? Take your time. So last year was when I decided that I was going to go. Well, I had done yoga before. One of my good friends, when I lived in Kentucky, she brought me out. It was after I had my second child, and I think Mackenzie was probably like 1 or 2 years old. And I was like, oh, I don't have time for yoga. And like, I didn't even, my mind, I couldn't even fathom trying to add this into my life. And it was so confusing. I was just like, I don't think I can do it. The first time I did it, we were in the park, and and somebody watched my kids. Like, this is how the yoga community is. They're like, oh, bring the kids. Nobody cares, And I'm like, are you sure? So someone watched the children, and I did it, and I felt so good. And I was like, man, I really wish this could be a part of my life all the time. But it just still was not the right timing for me. So fast forward to last year. I was pregnant last year. And I said I was going to start this journey, but I was still very sick. And it was just something that I couldn't add in my life. But I didn't mind talking about it. I didn't mind learning about it. And I really liked that I could tell people, hey, I'd like for you to come out to this class and, get into this meditation. And that's something you can do even if you physically can't perform the poses and, actually do the physical part of the practice. The meditation was just enough for me. So now this pregnancy has been a lot lighter. I can move a little bit more. Sometimes I might get stuck. You might have to pick me up for a moment. But again, every practice.
And then sometimes I call and somebody else answers the phone and little honey is in a pose. And they're like, Ty, look at Jessica over there trying to go down. I'm like,
get down. Right. Get down.
So yes, sometimes I think I can get on trees like Ty, but then I realize my practice is not there.
And you got a whole in there. Okay.
I mean, you are carrying a whole child,
Right.
And when you pregnant, sometimes you forget that bump, is there, and you start trying to do stuff. And you're like, wait a minute, why can't I?
Right.
Oh wait. Oh yeah.
Yes.
Trust me. That because before I had kids, I like to work out. Y'all know I was in the military and things like that, and so I love to work out. And I ran the Peachtree Road Race when I was pregnant with my first child, and they were like the people who were not pregnant, which was pretty much everybody.
Everybody else.
Like what you doing running?
Yeah.
And I said, well, and I didn't have a huge bump, but I had a bump where people could see, and they were just like, how's she running past us?
Right. Well,
But
I would like to say though, just in terms of yoga and pregnancy and all of that stuff, even working out in pregnancy, the doctor will tell you if
That's
you
right.
were before practicing yoga, working out, running, doing any of these things, you are perfectly okay to continue that as you go into your pregnancy. And the same applies for the opposite. If you were not doing yoga beforehand,
Don't start trying to do it now.
Don't
If you
start
wasn't
doing
lit,
now.
you know, you get on your yoga mat, you trying to do look like I know something, a little downward dog or a little
That's
bridge,
it.
a little bridge, or a little you know, those poses.
You got it. Yes.
A little baby cobra, you know, you can't do a baby
You're not
cobra
gonna
with a
be
belly.
doing too many cobras.
You're not doing any cobras while
The
you're pregnant.
bump is not gonna allow that. Now that's where the line is drawn.
The line is drawn. When your belly, you can't be laying on that baby, okay?
Right. Yeah.
Little baby yoga knowledge.
Yes.
No cobra, nothing. Okay,
No.
none of that, because
So
your belly is gonna
There's
be
definitely prenatal yoga out there, and just finding someone that actually knows who knows that practice is probably the best thing. Like, I'm not out here trying to teach anybody how to do yoga. I'm just trying to learn myself, you know.
Right. Yeah.
But I will say this pregnancy, I can move my body a little bit more. I'm very appreciative of that. So I am trying to make sure that I at least incorporate a little bit at a time. I have a couple of apps that I follow. But the meditation part, I feel like you can do regardless. And so
Right.
I appreciate that.
Well, ladies, I know we are, we only get a certain amount of time. Instagram will cut us off if we decide to be disrespectful to time. So can you tell people a little bit about what you guys are doing right now with the stipulations because of the coronavirus and things like that, and where they can find you? Obviously on Instagram, but tell us about some of your other platforms and things like that, and things you're rolling out right now.
So we did have a tour that we were launching, and we had to end up postponing the tour. We were so excited about this. This is going to be our first tour going around to all of our major cities where, our soy community and collective have been growing. But that is on hold until 2021. But in the meantime, we are putting together lots of wellness workshops, virtual wellness workshops. So we're actually in the process of finalizing our journaling workshop. We're going to have some on skincare, sexuality, womb healing, all these different areas that women need to explore, or we feel like that she should be exploring.
Now we need to. You're right.
Right. So we're putting together a lot of different virtual offerings for that, and we are also going to be putting together a lot of, what do we call them, US minis?
Yes.
US minis, where we're going around the United States, touring within the states, because it's going to be hard to get out of the states. So, but that's going to be closer towards the end of the year, maybe beginning of 2021. So definitely look out for that. We always host yoga challenges on our platform, like the one that you joined. We try to do one of those every month or every other month, just to keep our community active and connecting and engaged and exploring their yoga practice. And we're always kind of behind the scenes, just putting other things together. So definitely always rolling out something. Always trying to find other ways to connect. To bring yoga and wellness to communities of color, and we're just getting started, so we're super, super excited about the future of this.
And it's so beautiful, y'all. Let me tell you something. When I first ever even heard or saw the word yoga, it was not associated with the Black woman.
Yeah.
So I just want to tell you that I love what you all are doing, just because I see people doing something that's not often done that look like me. When you Google anything associated with yoga, all the videos, tutorials, everything, they come up, they don't look like me. They don't have no melanin. So I appreciate the fact that Sisters of Yoga, looks like me and reminds me that I can do it, just like you guys I can. So I really appreciate.
And they're not amateurs. They're not
amateurs. You know what I'm saying? She for real. She do it on trees, y'all. Y'all heard her? She said trees.
Any
tree. So I am absolutely in awe of what you ladies are doing. I greatly appreciate you taking some time, to share your platform and to, give us the opportunity to learn a little bit more just about what yoga is and how we can incorporate it in our lives. I I don't think I realized how spiritually connected yoga was.
Oh yes, that's
And
the
just,
main one. That's
just
the
because
main
I
thing.
didn't know, but I'm
Yeah.
so glad, to find out it's another way for me to be just more in tune and to develop my relationship, further than what it is. So, ladies, I really appreciate you. We're going to do a quick Q&A. I'm going to check to see if there are questions in here. Did anybody put any questions? I don't
Thank
see
you
any.
for having us. By the way, we appreciate that so much. We haven't started doing these just kind of
Right.
chatting things, but I love it. It's
I'm
so
the
good.
first. I like
Yay.
being the first. I
love
like that.
it.
Then
Yes.
they're gonna say, remember when we did that first live with that crazy lady?
Yep.
That's too funny. Yes, if
You'll
anyone
always
has
be able to
any-
go back to that, so you'll always remember being on Ebony's live for the first time. So I
Being on
appreciate
Ebony's
it.
Live, I love it. If
So
anyone
does
has
anybody have any questions?
Yes, please let us know while we're here on anything that you might want to know about yoga, about Sisters of Yoga, what we have going on, about your own practice.
Oh yes.
Yes.
As for those of us who've never tried yoga, where should we start? Great question, Carmen.
Yeah. So if you DM us, because I'm actually almost done with my How to Start Yoga guide, and I'm so super excited because this is literally the most question, the most asked question I get is, how do I start? So definitely DM us, and I will send you a guide when it's done. But just until that is done, all you need to do is go to YouTube, type in Beginner's Guide to Sun Salutations. There's an app called Down Dog, which is a yoga app that teaches you a lot of just the basics, foundations of it, and start doing yoga challenges on Instagram. Like I say, go to Sisters of Yoga. We do yoga challenges every month, and they're beginner based, super beginner based, and you get to have
but they feel hard.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard because you be doing things with your body that you've never done before.
I
so
know.
It's just like working out, and
I know.
And don't push yourself. Just wherever you are, be there. But with these yoga challenges, you have somebody there, like community. So you see all these other Black women killing it, or just starting.
And you realize how many.
By people, it's so motivating. That's one of the things we get a lot. Like, oh my God, this challenge helped me connect to a lot of other Black yogis. I didn't see them before I started. Before I started doing this yoga challenges, I didn't know other people were out here doing this. Or just to have them coming across your page, just to inspire. Oh, girl, let me get on my mat like today.
Right.
And so I would say doing a yoga challenge, doing the YouTube, like I said, anything if you type in like beginner or super beginner, if you need to, get very specific. But those sun salutations are amazing to get started with. And if you go, like I said, go to YouTube or start with a yoga app, they will help you out. Like I said, this guide that I'm coming out with, it breaks down the history of yoga, the different types of yoga. It breaks down the common mistakes that you have, the 10 most asked questions for beginner yogis, the sun salutations. It's like everything is in there.
Right.
So, yes.
Someone else had a question. It says, and I don't know what this means, is online YTT just as effective as in person? What is YTT first?
So
yoga?
YTT is yoga teacher training. So it's a training that you take to either become a yoga teacher or to just learn about yoga. So when I took my YTT training, I wasn't really sure if I wanted to teach yoga just yet. I just knew that I wanted to learn more about the practice. And so I chose a program that taught me more about the history and the energy that was, because I didn't know a lot about energy. I didn't know how energy worked throughout the body. And so that program that I took, my YTT program, was very, very into like energy, how energy flows through the body and the deities of yoga, as opposed to like the poses, because I had already been practicing the poses for 2 years before I started. So I really think it's important for you to determine like what type of program that it is that you want to do first, before you choose a YTT program. And then to answer your question as far as online YTT, I think it has its pros and cons. I think with online YTT, you have a lot more variety to choose from, a program that you've been recommended from that say, it's in another state and you can't get there, but it's highly recommended, or personally this person. The thing that I liked about in person is just because you have that connection, that community, which you can get it community online too now. You know, they've upped that. That in certain spaces still creating that community feeling. But for me, that's what I like more, just being there, being in person, because YTT is pretty intense. You know, like you go through. For me, YTT just broke me apart. Like I learned about yoga, but I learned so much more about myself in the yoga. You know, because that's what yoga is. It's about you. So you're literally learning about yourself. You have to peel yourself apart. You know, all these things that you thought you knew about yourself, or you know, it alters, it shifts, and your reality shifts. And so having community to help you through that was important. You know,
I was gonna say too, I think with something like this, being in person is probably better anyway. Just the feel that I get from it. Like she said, having that community, and even if it is you just learning the poses, you know, she said she did it for 2 years and she was self-taught, but she's talked about with me injuries and things you find out that you're doing, you know, you're doing things incorrectly.
And that's, you know what?
But I will say, sometimes people are in places that just YTT is just not available, like, or you know, because you got yoga teacher training is becoming a thing, so it's popping up everywhere, but it's still not available everywhere, and it's still not quality yoga teacher trainings everywhere. So you weigh the pros and cons, like what's most important to you, like, you know, what is it that you are really wanting to, if you want to go to learn more about yoga, then online yoga is fine, because you're learning, you can learn regardless. They have books, it's like class. They give you a list of books that you still have to read through, you still have to do your homework, you still have to do check-ins with community. So, you know, I would say weigh the pros and cons. If you can't get to if you can't get to in-person YTT, definitely consider online, you know, rather than not. So
yeah. And I think that's some great advice. Just any class, you know, obviously when you're in person, sometimes there's just a different level that you get. But if it's something that you really desire to do and that in person isn't available, just being able to have access to
just
that
find
online.
Yes.
Right.
And then find your community. Like you're asking us, and you're on Instagram right now. Like, you know, like Sisters of Yoga, or any community that is in yoga, you will get that sense of community. You can ask us questions in our DMs or in our, you know, it's still a level of connecting that you can do if you're not getting that within your online community, you know what I mean, through the yoga teacher training. So there's different ways around it. Yeah.
Anybody else have any questions for these ladies? They dropping some
those.
knowledge, and it's for free right now, so you gotta ask questions. Okay.
Yeah, YouTube is amazing. YouTube University has taught me so much about life.
YouTube, YouTube University,
Google,
yes.
and Pinterest are those are my 3 favorite places.
Okay, she has another question. She says, thank you. She said, thank you for the information that you shared. How do you find your feminine journey was affected by practicing yoga?
How did you find your feminine journey was affected by practicing yoga? Feminine journey in terms of what exactly? If you can like kind of break that down a lot more. I'm not sure if you're saying like connecting to the feminine part of you. Is that what you're saying? Because that goes into chakras, right? I love talking about chakras. So
now I'm talking about chakras, but I see.
So I mean,
I seen the pictures of the person with their legs crossed.
No, it's different. Chakras, like she said, with the legs crossed. No, that's
and they had the little colors about what's what.
Yes.
She said yes, exactly.
Yes, that part. So chakras in the body are just energy centers that are either closed or open, connected to like your heart chakra, and like if you're open to love, which would be the 4th chakra. Your root chakra, well, I'll start from the bottom. The 1st chakra is your root chakra. The 1st chakra is feeling stable. If you feel foundation, like if you feel like you're shaken up, like right now with everybody going through the pandemic, a lot of people's root chakra might be shaken up right now because we're feeling unstable. We're not sure what's to come next. We're anxious about, you know, some people can't pay their bills, or some people can't, so they don't feel stable, right? Or if you don't have your own room or your own home, it can go as many deep places, but to feel a sense of security and safety within yourself, right? Then the second one is going to be the solar plexus, the sacral chakra, which is what she's talking about. And it controls our sexual energy. So how we connect to the femininity within ourselves.
Relax.
Yes.
Let's talk about it.
You can go into a lot of different ways of opening up that sacral chakra with different yoga poses, with the way that you know, when we're doing certain things to work our hips and open up our hips and to move this middle part of our body. You know, when we, as a woman, you know, it's fluidity and it's fluid, you know, so when you're working through,
She's like,
yes.
Yeah.
So definitely.
I can do this.
Yoga, to sum it up, yoga definitely helps with just connecting to that feminine part in you by dealing with the chakras in the body, for sure.
So is it Karma D? I hope I'm saying it right.
Her name is Carmen.
Oh, is it Carmen?
Her name is Carmen. I know her, so that's only
okay. Carmen said we need more of this, and we are actually going to host a workshop on this. So
absolutely.
I don't know if she was on when we said this earlier, but
it's going to be about wound healing. So we're going to have a specialist comes on to talk about wound healing. So it's a lot about dealing with the stuff that as women we don't kind of know what's going on internally.
Right. And wound healing is very important.
Yes.
Wound healing. I know about that just from separate situations, but that is very, very important. And I'm just going to let you guys know we have about 10 more minutes.
I was looking at that.
We have 10 more minutes. So we have one more question here. How did you develop an independent practice? Meaning, how did you train yourself to practice outside of class without a teacher? It is a challenge for me. I don't know what to do on my own.
Yeah. So for me, like I said, I started at home. I didn't go into a studio for 2 years. And so I had a blog post that talked about this, to how to you know, bring back a stale practice. Because a lot of times yoga can feel stale, like especially stale for people who have already started but just feel like they've lost themselves and don't really know what to try next or don't know what to do next. So for those people and people who are just starting off at home, I would suggest a few things. So for me, like I said, yoga challenges help me to just stay inspired in my practice. So I didn't necessarily have to figure out what to do because somebody was telling me what to do for the day. Like, okay, what post am I working on today? You know what I mean? Also, again, the YouTube channels, to go on and take a class that somebody else is hosting for you, so you don't have to think about that. For me, though, what was important for me to do is just get on my mat and start getting into my body. So it may not even look like a yoga pose, really. You know, if a lot of people that follow me, Hippie Heathen on Instagram, my practice it has yoga in it, but it's a lot more intuitive. So I'm literally just getting in my body, seeing what feels good to me. How I can connect to myself more, how I can challenge my body more, how, you know, so it's
let me interject there. So one of the things that drew me to saying, oh, let me find out who this girl is because she had such a great flow to it. Like, it looked like dance to me. So I related to it a lot.
So, and also, like, in the beginning when I first started practicing, I would, not even if I didn't have a challenge to practice or a challenge to participate in, I would always save on my phone, like in a creative, like in a collection on the phone, like different poses that I wanted to learn or different flows that I wanted to learn. And so I would just set myself up for the day and start like doing my warm-ups in the beginning, because I always warm up my wrist. So I learned what to do to protect myself, because at first I wasn't doing that. Just protecting your wrists and protecting your knees, you know, and all these different parts that you need to make sure that you are warming up before you start all these poses. But I would do that and then be inspired to learn something new. You know what I mean? So my practice never got old, because it's like, oh, I want to try this next. I want to learn this next. I want to get better at this. So I never pushed myself to get to that particular pose more so than practice getting there. You get what I'm saying? Right. So if I wanted to learn a hard arm balance, I'm going to practice on strengthening my arms with my chaturangas and my plank, holding my planks longer, seeing how, you know.
Y'all hear this language she using? You hear it?
Yeah. So it was more so just connecting to my body and like learning my body is what inspired me to have my independent practice, because it was more so about me just connecting to my body more so than like doing the yoga per se. You know what I mean?
And that is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing. You could talk to somebody that know what they talking about. Okay, listen.
I love it.
Because if y'all had just me on here talking about some yoga, you would have been getting some messed up information, okay?
Firefly in Roswell. We are in Atlanta. That's amazing. Okay, I'm gonna check it out. It's a Black-owned studio.
Firefly
I didn't know
in
that.
Roswell.
Thank you for sharing that with us.
And it's a black. She says a Black-owned studio.
Thank
Beautiful.
you. Yes,
Beautiful.
definitely check
Does
that
anyone else have any questions? We have 5 minutes before
5
Instagram
minutes.
just cuts us off. Okay,
out.
so we have 5 minutes. Anyone else
You're
have
welcome,
any questions?
Steph.
Questions or concern? Hello, ladies.
Hey.
Oh, Naked Yoga Goddess. Hi,
I know we love her.
So if you guys have any other questions before we go, like I said, right now they're on live, so you're getting it for free, okay? So you better
You can always
ask
hop into our
away.
DMs too.
But she said she'll accept DMs,
Yeah.
okay? She'll accept DMs, okay?
Yes.
Well, if no one else has any questions, ladies, thank you so much for this.
Oh,
This
thank
was so needed.
Yes.
Just to be able to, I can just feel your energy. I can feel it through just Instagram Live. That's
I
crazy.
love you, girl.
You know, I can feel the energy through the live. You know, the thing about it is when somebody else smiles, it makes you smile. And when they have that positive energy, it makes, so I guarantee you that everybody who has watched this has smiled at some point just because of the energy
I cannot help it.
that you all are exuding.
I smile all the time. It's like I'm
And
just
we
like,
both goofy.
and we both just be like,
Really.
It's so much joy, you know, that you all are carrying. That's such a beautiful thing because people need that. We're in a season where, you know, we don't know what kind of things people are dealing with. And just the joy that you all are carrying is just so beautiful. And to be able to extend that out into yoga and allowing people to just better themselves through what it is that you're teaching and training and helping them learn and understand is just such an amazing thing. So I appreciate you, ladies. They say namaste, right? Namaste.
yes, they do. I love it. Namaste, sister. Yes, I love
Thank
it.
you, ladies, so much.
Thank
You
you
guys,
for
if you have
having
any
us.
other questions and concerns, please make sure you head over to their page, Sisters of Yoga. She says she's accepting DMs. So you can ask her any question that you like. Okay. Head over. The live will be up. You can replay that as well, but you may have a question that we didn't answer here, so feel free to send them a message so you can get your question answered, and go and follow their page because they have events and challenges coming up, and you can be like me, stretching your body to the limit.
Yes,
you
we're
know.
gonna have you out, Ebony.
I
Just
love
wait.
it. Thank you so much for having us. We appreciate it so very much.
All right, and you ladies have such an amazing night. We appreciate you guys. Make sure you all head over to their page. This was I Am Woman, the conversation. Let's talk. We love you guys. Thank you so much. You all have a great night.
Ladies. Bye.